Before you know it, an hour has passed. That's an hour that you should have been working on that report that needs to go to your manager. You know, it just doesn't help. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, High Heels and Hustle. If this is your first time here, my name is Latoya, and High Heels and Hustle is the place where we are growing our businesses and changing our lives. So in today's video, I just wanted to share with you 10 things that will help you to be productive if you're working from home. So we are unfortunately in the midst of a pandemic at the moment, and a lot of people are working from home for the first time and struggling with getting motivated, staying motivated, and being productive when working from home. So hopefully these 10 tips will help you as you work from home to be more productive and to actually enjoy the experience. Let's get into the video. So the first tip is to get into a routine. Now I have heard people say things like, oh, I'm going to make sure that I stick to my usual routine as if I'm going to work. And that's great if that works for you, but that doesn't work for everybody. So I would just say, if you have to create a new routine for this time, then do that. Just find what works for you, because I know that some people are having to juggle working from home with teaching their children as well. And it is a lot. So your routine probably does need to change. Please don't put so much pressure on yourself to stick to your usual routine, but just find a routine that works for you and that works for your family if you are having to accommodate teaching your children and other things as well. Tip number 2 is to get dressed. And I know it's so easy to stay in your pajamas or your onesie all day and it's nice and relaxing, I get it. But I find that I'm more productive if I do actually get dressed. Now, you don't have to dress formally as if you were going to work, but you can put on jeans, a t-shirt, whatever works for you. But I would definitely recommend getting dressed, because if you stay in your pajamas, your onesie, it just really keeps you in that relaxed mode, and naturally you will work as if you are just relaxing. So you're not really getting the most out of it. So definitely try and get dressed as much as you can every day, because it really, really does help. Tip number 3 is one of my all-time favorites, and that is to create a to-do list. And that's something that I do whether I'm in the office or I'm working from home, because I just find that it helps me to organize my day, and it gives you motivation as well, because if you write down a list of 10 things that you have to accomplish that day, and as you tick them off and you realize, okay, I've completed 5 of the tasks, only 5 left to go, that pushes you, that motivates you, and that helps you to be more productive. So to-do lists, one of my all-time favorites that works wonders for me. Tip number 4 is the scheduling method. So try to block your day. So for example, if you need to send a report to your manager by midday, you may choose to block out your time from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. to work on that report and then send it over. So you can use tools like Outlook, Google Calendar, however you choose to block your day. It's absolutely fine, but it does really help to get you in that mind frame that this is what I'll be working on during this time, and it really keeps you productive, because you know you've got this allocated time to accomplish whatever the case may be, and then you've got this allocated time to accomplish something else. It keeps you on track, makes sure that you're productive through the day, and that you're actually sticking to a schedule to get all your tasks done within the set time that you have allocated to work. Number 5 is don't watch the TV. And I get it, again, it's a bit like the onesie and the pajamas. It's so tempting, but if you have a room where there is no TV, I would recommend making that your workspace. But if you don't, just be disciplined. Don't turn the TV on as much as possible, because the temptation to just sit and watch one of your favorite programs, before you know it, an hour has passed. That's an hour that you should have been working on that report that needs to go to your manager. You know, it just doesn't help. Stay away from the TV as much as possible. Tip number 6 is something that I enjoy doing, and that's to use the top 3 or the top 5. Now, the way that this works is to just write down the top 3 things, the main 3 things or 5 things that you've got to accomplish that day. And I usually start with those things, because then I know that my main tasks have been accomplished, and then everything else can kind of fall underneath that. But it does help you when you see the tasks that you have to complete, and again, you tick them off. So it's similar to the to-do list, but this is just a way of prioritizing the main tasks that you've got to accomplish for that day, and make sure that whatever happens, those tasks are completed. Number 7 is to take regular breaks. Now, if you're working in an office, you do take regular breaks naturally. So if you have to get up and speak to a colleague, you have to go to the photocopier, the bin, the printer, whatever the case may be, you are taking breaks away from your screen, and that's so very important. But when you're working from home, sometimes, we find that we're spending hours and hours in front of the PC, in front of the laptop and we haven't actually moved. So make a conscious effort to get up every now and then, even if it's to walk to the kitchen, get yourself a drink, walk to the bathroom, whatever the case may be, just take a break away from the screen, because our minds are not built to be focused on the screen for hours on end. It just doesn't help us to be productive. So taking even 2 minutes away from your desk, away from your computer, really does help with productivity. Number 8 is to avoid junk food. I get it, the temptation is there, and I'm seeing all over Facebook and Instagram people saying they've put on weight because of this quarantine and working from home. The temptation is there, but please avoid junk food as much as possible, because it really just makes you feel lethargic. You don't have the energy, you don't want to be productive, you're not motivated to do any work. So you know, I am a snacker. I like to snack throughout the day, but try to snack on healthy things. Try to take in a lot of water as well, because that helps your mind, that keeps you hydrated and helps you to focus. So yeah, avoid the junk food until at least after work. Number 9 is to reward yourself. Now, I love this one. So this is mainly for those of you who are really struggling with being motivated, really struggling with working from home. Reward yourself. You know, you may decide to implement some of the tips that I've given you today and tell yourself, if I do the things that I've committed to doing Monday to Friday, then on Saturday, I'm going to give myself a treat of X. Whatever your thing is, then treat yourself on Saturday, and that helps you to stay motivated, because you know at the end of the week there's a great reward waiting for you. So that will help you to stick to your goals and to stay motivated throughout the week as well. And number 10 is to remember that your productivity is your responsibility. I've given you some great tips in this video. I could give you 100 tips, you could watch 20 videos, but if you never actually implement any of the tips, then nothing's going to change. So just remember, your productivity is your responsibility. You will get out of this experience what you put into it. And there are a lot of perks to working from home, so it's best that you enjoy it, that you make the most of it, and that you make sure that you are being productive during this time. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button below, join the High Heels and Hustle community, where we are growing our businesses and changing our lives. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.